Welcome to Show and Tell. In this series, I review brand new games quickly and with as much detail as possible. Ready? Go. Kaiju Panic, a new tower defense kind of action hybrid developed by Mechabit Limited. This is their first game on Steam. They've released a couple of smaller games and one or two VR games, but for all intents and purposes, I consider this their first major release. As I said, it's a tower defense game, but it has some atypical elements to it. I called it kind of action, but that's not even really accurate. You basically play this game from a perspective that you'd imagine wouldn't really mesh with the genre. Though I have to say it's been done before by Orcs Must Die, and Orcs Must Die manages to achieve this gameplay from an even stranger perspective. Though Kaiju Panic certainly has its unique elements, and we'll get into that in a sec. The game looks good, the art style certainly stands out, and it was, as it usually is, the reason I requested a review copy of this game in the first place. Presentation is massively important, and I feel, while it doesn't blow me away, it certainly does the job. It's bright, colorful, and varied between the different locations in the game. The character design I found to be pretty cute, and while I liked the enemy design aside from a few exceptions, the enemies were relatively generic looking. The boss type enemies were definitely the highlight when talking design. They looked pretty sweet. The game is standard in a few ways, as you'd expect. You have a base that you need to protect from enemies that will usually make a beeline to the base. I say usually because about halfway through the game, the enemy AI is upgraded and they begin calculating the best places to focus their efforts, which is pretty cool. I love it when games find a way to up the difficulty without turning all of the enemies into damage sponges. Really refreshing. There's also a ton of variety. Aside from the upgraded AI, there's also the lab that you can use to purchase new technology with research points, though that's pretty standard. You have 3 different types of weapons, cannon, laser, and acid. They all serve different purposes, and you'll find yourself using them all, which is nice to see. For example, here I have a long line of cannons, but I forgot to put acid weapons down on the field to destroy the armor on one of the enemy types. I was punished severely for it. Said enemy made it through all of my defenses before I could build some acid spray turrets, and completely destroyed my base. And that's another thing. The game is hard, and honestly designed for pretty hardcore strategists. I feel like a casual gamer could slip through and beat the game, but it'd be really hard on them. There's also a bunch of unique mechanics. The currency you use to build weapons are these crystals. So, at the beginning of every level, you must construct mining devices, and I found myself gathering people to help me while the crystal was being mined. Getting people to help you is probably the coolest mechanic of the game, where you can order civilians to man certain weapons, and each civilian has their own strengths that can help add to your turrets. It's got a real deep strategy to it, and as a tip for you if you choose to play this game, man the turrets. I spent the first couple hours or so losing to the 5th level because I underestimated the importance of placing civilians on turrets. Story's okay. Serves its purpose. Like the presentation, it's good but nothing to write home about. It's there to give context to the gameplay, and that's totally fine. I don't want to undervalue the importance of context in games, because games without any context feel slightly soulless. They feel like a tech demo rather than a full game, and this game certainly feels like a full game. I guess what I'm saying is, it's good the story is there, but no one is going to be playing this game for the story. It's super simple, like Mario saving Peach. Now, Kaiju Panic is $20. That seems like a lot, but hear me out. The game is long. There's a lot of content here. Now, I'll fully admit that I haven't finished the entire game, but it took me around 6 hours to reach the 3rd area, and there are 6 areas. Generally, the levels in the 3rd area were longer than in the 2nd area, and the 2nd longer than the 1st. I could easily see on the high end this being a 15-hour game, and on the low end being a 10-hour game. That's also backed up by the fact that new elements were being introduced in the 3rd area, and there were tons of different weapons that I hadn't bought yet in the lab, so the content is relatively high quality. So is it worth $20? I'm gonna say yes if you're gonna play a lot of this game. One of the reasons I couldn't finish it before release, and by the way, I like it so I will finish it, is because I couldn't play it in long stretches. In my opinion, this game is best experienced over a long period of time where you keep coming back for more. So it's getting a high seal of approval. The game is absolutely an approved purchase from me. It's available on PC, Mac, and Xbox One starting the 9th of October. Thank you so much for watching. If you thought this was a good review, consider leaving a like because that makes it easier for other people to find this video. If not, feel free to leave a dislike, but try and let me know how it can improve for next time. See ya!